For the fourth time in 5 years, the most unpredictable series in world motorsport, the all-electric ABB FIA Formula E Championship will go to the final race of the season to crown a champion. Welcome to the final free practice for that race, the third annual New York City E-Prix. Hello everyone, I'm Bob Varsha. Because this is a two-day event, just one 45-minute practice session to get set for the definitive race of the season, the one that will decide the champion this afternoon. It's another beautiful day as you look across the Buttermilk Channel. Folks enjoying summertime, mid-80s degree Fahrenheit temperatures here in New York. Governor's Island with all the trees, and just beyond, the iconic New York City skyline. Let's talk about the championship. Jean-Eric Vergne for DS Techeetah has it all on the line. He came in as the obvious choice for champion, but he has seen his lead narrowed, in part by that man, Lucas di Grassi, former champion, a specialist in coming from behind to win races, and he desperately needs to win one today. And then there's Mitch Evans, perhaps a bit of a usurper in the championship thus far. Who'd have thought Panasonic Jaguar would come as far as they have this year? Mitch Evans won a race, a consistent point scorer, and he is in the running for a championship. And let's not forget the fourth man who also remains mathematically eligible, Sebastian Buemi, the feel-good story of the weekend thus far, who took pole for the third straight race here in New York and then won the race to break a two-year victory drought. And he, too, is a long shot, but he has a shot at his second championship. Here's a look at the points coming into today. Jean-Eric Vergne with just a 22-point margin over Lucas di Grassi. Mitch Evans, another 3 points back. 1 point behind Evans is Sebastian Buemi. And because of that victory yesterday and his fourth place in the championship, Sebastian Buemi now moves up into the first qualifying group a little bit later today. And let's not forget the team's championship as well. Another difficult battle. DS Techeetah has seen its lead shrunk by Audi Sport Abt Scheffler, who came from behind to defeat them for the team title a year ago in this race by just 2 points. Nissan E-Dams, on the basis of Buemi's victory, moves up past Envision Virgin into third in the championship. Those three top teams are also still alive for a title. There's our backdrop. Lady Liberty across New York Harbor, one of the biggest and busiest waterways in the world. Now let's take a closer look at our racetrack, laid out on the streets and parking lots of the Brooklyn Ship Terminal in Red Hook, Brooklyn, New York. And for that, three-time Indy 500 champion Dario Franchitti.
Here is our battlefield, and it was a battlefield yesterday. A wide entry into turn one. Two quick right-handers, 3-4, important to get off turn 5, past the attack mode activation zone. Turn 6 and 7, we saw a lot of action there in the early laps yesterday. Very bumpy through turn 9. Turn 10 opened up from last year, through the lovely chicane of 12, 13, through the fast kink of 14, down a long run to the finish line. And that is the track these guys will be racing on today.
Boy, it saw some, what's that French word, carnage yesterday? A spectacular race. We hope you were with us for it. Lead race commentator Jack Nichols. This practice session, it seems to me, is even more important because of that carnage yesterday. So many broken race cars at the end of the day, and they have to find out very quickly if they're fit for qualifying and then the race.
Well, that's true. Jean-Eric Vergne, case in point, his car got beaten up yesterday, so I think we'll see, you know, almost like an installation lap for a lot of these cars. Apparently there was a big old race down to the spares garage last night once the
there really was. We were standing in
Were you there? Were you there?
I was watching them, yeah, and the more experienced, shall we say, mechanics came back already with stuff, and I said, "You've done this before, haven't you?" He said, "Yeah, not my first rodeo."
They didn't run out of anything, I hope.
I don't think so. There were some Scottish team principals might have been complaining about the price of parts.
Yeah. So there is Lucas di Grassi and Mitch Evans. There's a little part of me that begs the question, really, this final practice session, how important is it? Because qualifying is, you know, qualifying's when you got to get it done. They're going to be pretty dialed in from yesterday, and then when the race starts, it's just each to themselves.
Yeah, I think you look back to the guys who did not qualify well yesterday. Might have changed the setup of the car. Said, let's try something different. And if the car was good in qualifying yesterday, you're going to want to use this session to get into a rhythm, get yourself into that flow of the street circuit, because today, tenths, thousandths of a second could make the difference between getting into Super Pole, qualifying up front, and qualifying at the back, and ultimately could make a big difference in the championship.
Do you think that Group 1 in qualifying is going to be less traumatic today?
I do, Jack, yeah, because you can see the rubber on the track. Normally, at this stage of the day, the track is completely clean. There's no rubber down, there's dusty. The tyres adhere better to that rubber than obviously the dust. Because we ran yesterday, a lot of rubber down, I think Group 1 is going to be slightly more like the later groups in qualifying.
Let me correct something I said earlier. Nissan Edams, in their first season as partners at ABB Formula E, they are not eligible for the overall team's championship. They say they're happy with third place, but they do have a shot at second, currently held by Audi Sport App Schaeffler.
It's amazing Buemi's in the title fight coming into the final race.
Isn't it, though?
Like, because he wasn't even in Group 1 yesterday, right?
No, he went from 7th to 4th with that victory.
Yeah.
You look back to Santiago, DNF, Mexico, DNF, Hong Kong, DNF, and they were having all kinds of problems. And here he does, just continually sort of worked away to him, the Nissan team. They've had 6 pole positions this year between Oliver Rowland and Sebastian Buemi.
Half the races to this point.
Races, yeah.
And that's a new record for ABB Formula E. They also had, I believe, 15 podium finishes. No, that's not correct. They set another record for success. Probably Super Pole appearances is what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I think Buemi and Verne, I think, are tied for topping qualifying groups.
Look at the dust offline still, though. We saw Alex Lynn go offline to go in arm attack mode to practice that for today. So still very dusty offline, which is going to make passing this afternoon, he's going to be more risk involved in going offline to attempt an overtaking maneuver. We saw it yesterday, so many people outbraking themselves in turn 1, causing an issue in turn 2. I think the biggest example of that was Jean-Eric Verne and then Felipe Massa. They got together a little bit in 1, and then Felipe finished the job off in turn 2. And we had a couple of more cars joining the accident, shall we say, and Jerome D'Ambrosio did that little jump over the top of everybody. What did he say? It was a bit like Knight Rider this morning.
Stewards has deemed no further action for the Massa Verne incident. Fair racing incident?
I mean, very aggressive racing incident. Well, I would be, if I'm Jean-Eric Verne, I'm pretty upset with Felipe Massa. You see Alexander Sims heading down onto the dust in 1, and that's where the incident happened yesterday. Yeah, I mean, Felipe was very, very aggressive with that one.
There are actually a number of stewards' inquiries after yesterday's race, but surprisingly few penalties issued.
And these guys, the DS Techeetah team, protested Audi afterwards as well because of that incident that happened early in the race in turns 6 and 7. But again, there was nothing happened because of that. So there's a few frayed tempers out there. That was last night. We've got another race to do today. So how crazy is it going to be? It's the last day of school. You've got, what, 5 months to fix the cars?
How does it work when you've got a 2-day race and you've had that just fraughtness from the day before coming in the next day? What does it feel like? Do you remember it? Do you put it to the back of your mind?
I think you put it in the back of your mind, just the same as you would do with a race the week before. You just focus forwards. You focus. You've obviously learned stuff yesterday. It's given you a lot of information, but you focus forwards, and you won't be holding grudges or any of that stuff. You just get on with it. You do your best and see what the day brings.
Oliver Rowland, the quickest man at the moment, a 1 minute 11.997 for the British driver, who was a little bit annoyed at himself yesterday when I spoke to him on the grid. Said, yeah, lost the second in the middle sector here at turn 10 and was a second away from Buemi in the groups, so would have been in Super Bowl were it not for that error.
And a quick shot of Venturi team principal Susie Wolf there. I saw her in what looked like a pretty earnest conversation with Felipe Massa after yesterday's race. No idea what it was about, but I have a feeling it might have been that contretemps with Jean-Eric Verne.
Apparently Felipe was rather excitable in the stewards meeting.
Well, It was a weird race yesterday for Venturi, actually, because they had a horrible qualifying, started well down the order, then suddenly Mortara and Massa together climbed all the way up, and they were running, I think, in 9th and 10th at one point. They made up 11 places, the pair of them. Then they both retired from the race with crashes, so it was really a roller coaster.
But as you said, there was a lot of contact yesterday from the back of the field to the front. People just... the field is so close, and they're just trying to gain that advantage.
So we've got 39 minutes left on the clock here as we watch Jean-Eric Verne coming down towards turn 1. He's 11th at the moment. Sims, it is who's now quickest, a 1 minute 11.850. I haven't had a chance to catch up with him yet after that incident yesterday. Well, let's hear from the boss of Jean-Eric Verne and that man Andre Lotterer, Mark Preston. Gary is with him on the radio.
Good morning, Mark. The car's all rebuilt and good to go after yesterday's incidents.
Yeah, the guys got it all done, most of it done last night. So yeah, we're just going out there and getting prepared for the day.
How do you regroup after such a crazy race and all those incidents, really none of which were of you or your driver's making?
I suppose we had a very similar experience last year, didn't we? After the Saturday, so we're kind of half used to it in this series.
And Jeff's pretty calm this morning?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he knows what he's got to do. Obviously, the track looks a bit better today, so hopefully Group 1 won't be as bad as yesterday. And Andre's in Group 2, so it's better start as far up as we can today.
Good man. Thanks, Mark.
That was something I was thinking about this morning. With Andre Lotterer dropping a couple of places in the championship, he'll go out in Group 2 with a cleaner racetrack, and he could do some damage.
Yeah, absolutely. Lotterer, he's definitely got the pace to do it. One thing, going back to yesterday a second, if I was Lotterer, I probably would have hung back a little bit from my teammate, being in that supporting role. Just in case what happened, there was an accident ahead, give me some room to stop. You know, Lotterer got hit by about 4 cars from behind, and that propelled him into his teammate, but a bit more of a gap would have might have helped that. But it's easy to be wise after the event, and it's easy to be wise in the commentary booth.
Very easy.
Effort turn 9.
Making a career out of it. Lockup from Robin Freins there. Oh, I don't think he did bump the wall there.
Tires clean. Effort is in the outlap.
De Grassi just being told to keep the tyres clean. So yesterday was all bumpy action. Mortara goes quickest, 1 minute 11.4.
Not for long. Oh, I thought Robin was on a lap.
Yeah, ended up 6/10 slower, so maybe he lost some time in that final sector because he did fastest sector 1 and 2. Yeah,
it seems so.
Robin Freins had
I think he did hit the wall on the exit
of
11. Yeah, here we go.
Oh yeah, understeered right into it. The front of the car sliding.
That's where the time went. All that aggressive racing we saw yesterday, no penalties handed out. So you know, the message to these drivers now is what happened yesterday was absolutely fine. Would you concur with that, or do you feel some of it was a bit OTT, or?
Some of it was absolutely on the edge, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it's that thing of it. There's always the two sides to any argument on track, and the truth is normally somewhere in the middle. So there was some bits of it that were very, very aggressive. For instance, but the Sam Bird accident. We're looking from a camera that's probably a foot above Sam's head.
Yeah.
So we have a much better view.
He got a penalty
than Sam Bird had. He brushed the back of the Dragon. Didn't intend to do anything at all. Spun round. He did get a penalty, but
there were way worse things going on in that race than that.
Yeah, the Massa thing. I mean, I'm a big Felipe Massa fan. I think the guy's just class. But that was, if I had been Jean-Eric Verne, I would have been seriously mad at just being driven into the wall.
P1 again, boxed this lap, missing less than 1/10 sector 1, 1.5 tenths sector 2, and 1/2 tenth sector 3.
And that man we just heard from, Lucas de Grassi's team. Lucas is the master of pushing the limit, but not doing anything egregious. He's just sort of brushing cars a little bit, just pushing the limits, just letting people know he's there when he's coming through the field. And he is, again yesterday, proved what a great racing driver he is.
Edo Mortara has done the fastest first sector of anyone. Mitch Evans is doing a quick lap as well. And Evans goes up to third quickest now. Top three separated by less than 2/100ths of a second. Here is Mortara, and he's up after the middle sector. Really, really difficult qualifying yesterday for Venturi, but as I say, they showed decent race pace to come back through before being involved in Mortara's incident. Was a bit weird. Haven't quite figured out how it worked. He goes quickest of anyone on a 1 minute 11.264, but he sort of got hit and then sort of ended up ramming into Roland accidentally.
Yeah, he got ricocheted off the car on the outside of him, didn't he? And coming out of turn 10 and got ricocheted into Roland, and that was it's one of those things that the car took off at a trajectory and he couldn't gather it quickly enough.
There's the Jaguar of Mitch Evans. Unfortunately, Alex Lynn, his teammate, will have a 10-place grid drop for changing the MGU, the motor generator unit, on his car. So Lynn won't get the result today, but...
well, you never know.
Actually, yeah.
Come on, Jack.
Yeah, you never know. But that's frustrating for him nevertheless. But for me, he's done enough to be impressive yesterday. Bird quickest now, 1 minute 11.127. Again, Envision Virgin Racing had a...
How was that? That's good. Currently P1 on an 11.1. Main sector loss, 210 sector 2. Okay, we need to settle into these L1 laps, please.
Robin Freitz had an electrical problem that from the start of the race, which obviously in an electric race car isn't ideal, but that was what was sort of hampering his pace early on, and in the end it was just unbearable. They came into the pits.
You look at his results. He won in Paris, that amazing race that he drove in those crazy conditions. And since then, 17th, 13th, DNF. It just, I mean, he got punted off in Bern. It just, the margins between success and failure are so small here. If you look at every car we've looked at this session so far, would you count anybody out of a potential top 5 finish today? Any of the cars we've seen so far?
No, there's no. I would say I don't think Dillman or Turvey in the Neos. Apart from that, anyone could finish top 5.
Yep. And Dillman, Turvey finished 10th yesterday, got a result.
I don't know how he got a point out of that. That was just great.
But I mean, really good for him. And the Neo guys have had a hard season. I'm not picking on the Neo guys. They've had a tough season. They need to regroup for next year. But it was good to see them get a point, but they're definitely a little more than a little disadvantaged right now.
Yeah, Tom Dillman had a good practice and qualifying sessions yesterday. I mean, he was running ahead of his teammate.
Absolutely, and we've kept saying, oh, Tom Dillman's the only guy not to score a point. Yeah, so much of that has been out with his control. He's done a much better job than the results show.
Yeah, he was really, really impressive yesterday in qualifying. There's the Drivers' Championship then, 22 points the advantage. Basically, Buemi, Evans, De Grassi have got to win the race, have to win the race, and hope that Jean-Eric Verne has issues. But Verne has just gone to the top of the times, and he and Lotter are 1-2 for DS6.
5-7 Alpha 8.
5-7 Alpha. It gives you some idea. These guys are trying to drive the car, and also they're working, moving all the switches, doing what the engineers tell them what they need to do, feeding back information. So you're driving with one part of your brain and using the other to do all the things you've got to do in order to keep the performance of the Formula E car right on the edge of the envelope.
And looking at the steering wheel,
forecast.
all of the numbers, all of the systems, all of the readouts that the drivers have to
774.
observe like that, as you say, in the midst of a battle, through these winding, fast section of the racetrack, trying to decipher the numbers. Incredible challenge.
And then they throw in, you've got to remember codes now because we don't want to give the information away to the other teams. I'd be useless at this.
Mahindra, I think, said they were the first team to go for the code thing. They were the first team to do it. They said, as you see Dilbag Gill, the team principal at Mahindra, morning. Stoffel Van Dorn across the line. Vernon Lotter then 1-2 at the moment, with Bird in third, Van Dorn in fourth, Mortara fifth. We're on board with Stoffel Van Dorn as we go into the heads-up display. Running at 200 kilowatts at the moment.
You see him passing attack mode activation zone on the right. Daniel Abt actually missed it yesterday, missed activating it, tried to go through there a little bit too quickly and missed it. Missed the first of the sensors.
Gary is on a cool lap.
Gary's on a cool lap is the message.
Just watch the kickback from the steering wheel when he turns into turn 9. He's just regenerating a little bit. We thought, see the kickback now, there you go. We thought this was going to be almost a flat out race, but there was actually a lot of energy saving had to happen yesterday, and because it's so warm as well, the more energy you're trying to save with regeneration, the warmer the battery gets. So it's kind of a vicious circle. It was a challenge for a lot of the teams yesterday, and will be again today because it's just as warm.
Dorn put in so much lock there in the hairpin, he took his right hand off the steering yoke just to get it cranked over.
Van Dorn had one of the biggest moments for that last kink turn 14 yesterday in qualifying. He got it on the rack stops pretty much and saved the car. It's quite impressive.
That was good stuff. There is Jean-Eric Vergne in the pits.
So, are we changing the nose? I wonder if they're trying, because he damaged 2 noses yesterday in the race. I wonder if they are, it was a red flag.
Red flag?
Yeah, I wonder if the Techeetah guys are changing noses to make sure that the balance of the car stays the same with the 2 different noses, because they're 2 brand new ones.
Red flag.
I wonder what the red flag's for.
Okay.
Maybe just a bit of debris on the circuit somewhere or some such.
Nobody's shown stopped on timing and scoring.
Can you remember how much debris was on the track at one point yesterday? It was madness. All the way down this straight there was bits of DS Techeetah.
Scott Elkins, and then at the end of the... I reckon there was enough DS Techeetah.
Attention all teams, this is race control. We have a manhole cover that's come loose. We're going to have to re-weld it in turn 14, so this is going to be a little bit of a long-term situation here for the red flag, so stand by. I'll let you know what we're going to be able to do in terms of continuing this session. Just stand by.
It's well spotted by someone.
Yeah. So not the worst scenario in the world, because the teams have had a lot of running yesterday, etc., etc. So presumably that's the offending manhole cover, perhaps.
That's a very quick turn to turn 14. Yeah. And you can see from the rubber laid down, it is right on the line.
When I came in on Thursday, they were welding those down already. Standard procedure, you weld them down. Yeah. We saw in the Formula 1, it was at Baku when Williams sucked up the manhole cover and it destroyed the car. The underfloor of the Formula E car is very powerful, and it would do exactly the same thing, so cannot take a chance with that. The DS Techeetah boys 1-2 at the moment.
The clock will keep running in this free practice session.
Anybody done any welding here in the booth? How long does it take to put a couple of spot welds on it?
I've never done any in the booth.
My job was crashing the cars, Bob, not fixing them.
Tearing up the drain covers,
exactly.
them down.
I've never welded anything, actually. I've soldered.
I've done a bit of welding.
You've actually done some welding?
Yeah, I did it. School, I think.
Yeah.
I made a go-kart trolley. That was one of my projects in school.
Okay.
Very much a job skill in demand here in the United States, I can tell you.
I love when you see the old school fabricators and they make the beautiful welding they can do on old exhaust systems and stuff like that. But
yeah,
it's very cool. Jean-Eric Vergne talking to his engineer.
There's a little place in my village where they build up cars, the old-fashioned way and stuff like that, and restore sort of Jaguar D-types and stuff like that, and they're all beating the panels.
Is that the place we're supposed to visit when we actually get some time?
Yeah. It's really cool. So here we go then. Mr. Welder has arrived. At the moment, Vergne quickest, Losser a second, third Van Dorn, Lynn, Mortara, Da Costa, Evans, Paffett, Buemi.
So he's in a funny situation, Jean-Eric Vergne. He's got that lead in the championship, and he's got to go out today and drive in qualifying like it's just a practice lap, because you can only go as fast as you can go. So he's got to kind of trick his mind almost and be like, right, I'm just going to go out as if it's a practice lap. I'm not going to try and do anything super special. Obviously it matters a great deal, but he's got to act in his mind like it doesn't, and you've got to just stay nice and chilled out, which I think he He was last night. I was so surprised. We did a sit down with him, and he said, "Yeah, I'll do that, no problem." And he was messing around, and as was Lucas de Grassi.
He didn't look it when he sort of came back though, to the pits in general.
No, it was a bit of adrenaline flowing there. I think he was shocked at Massa's reaction in the steward's office.
We're going to see that interview either in qualifying or the race or both later today, but did he mention anything about the start, dirty line versus clean line? He was in 10th. So.
Did not mention a word about it. It was, didn't even, no, didn't come up. These guys are the hunters. They've been in that position before. They know what to do. But I think Lucas de Grassi, the way he breaks down a race, is quite interesting. He really plays the long game. He doesn't really risk more. He risks on the absolute limit, but not anymore. And you see the amount of damage on that Audi at the end of the race yesterday, but not enough to slow it down at all. Oh, look at this. Alexander Sims in the BMW through the last corner. Look at the hand. Watch the driver's hands just correcting the minute slides. Lopez, that's great. Yesterday's winner, Sebastian Buemi.
I was one off. I picked his teammate, Oliver Rowland, to win the race. I'll take a Nissan Edams win. 9th different winner in 12 races this year, as you look at Alex Lynn. I was supposed to call him Alex Lynn, correct?
Yeah, you call him Alexander. But that's what the FIA thing says, isn't it?
Yeah, and when he was racing in Formula E before, last couple of years, he was officially registered as Alex Lynn. For some reason, his official entry now is Alexander Lynn.
See, somebody probably filled the forms in for him, and they asked for full name, so they put Alexander.
Exactly, so now he comes up as Alexander Lynn.
There's a lesson, fill your own forms in.
But it's the same with Alexander, but Alexander Sims has always been Alexander Sims.
Absolutely.
But I don't know if you can call him Alex. Do you call him Alex?
No, I call him Alexander. Same with Rossi in IndyCar, Alexander Rossi.
Yeah, exactly. He's not.
I call him Alex sometimes to annoy him.
Yeah, but he is Alexander Rossi.
Yeah. There we go.
It's bringing you all the
insight.
All the insight. Jean-Eric Vergne then 22 points clear of Lucas de Grassi, 25 points clear of Mitch Evans, 26 points clear of Sebastian Buemi. So Buemi's got to rely on a fastest lap or a pole position and a win to get involved. Evans and de Grassi, a win would be enough, just about, if Vergne were to not score. So that's the difference there. Further down, you got Daniel Abt there in 7th, Robin Freitz in 8th. Rowland 11th in the championship. Crazy.
And I think Oliver Rowland gets my most aggressive driver of the season award. He constantly is battling. He's been a great addition to this championship. And a very last minute addition too, and he's just fitted in so well. Him, Verline, I mean the way Verline has arrived, got straight up to speed with the car, his attitude in the paddock, he's just loving being here. It's great.
I felt for Paffett yesterday, because he got all elbows out, he was getting stuck in, he was always there or thereabouts, but it never actually, you know, came together for him.
So yeah, him and Massa got together in practice, and he had that sort of rant. And then in the race, Massa pushed him off in turn 10.
Yeah.
So, and I was sort of saying, oh, I bet I'll try and get up behind him, but and have a little shove. But by that point, he'd been pushed onto the dusty part of the track, lost a further 2 spots, and it all went downhill. So yeah, Gary Paffett's just, it sums up his season really. It'd be lovely to see him get a result today.
Daniel Abt still in the car. Hopefully that means there'll be some time left in the session.
He got pushed wide, didn't he, yesterday, and lost about 5 places, and it just kept getting worse from there. Yeah. After the race, we were walking down pit lane, and I said, well, congratulations on your new Audi deal. I was looking for a bright spot, and he kind of had a chuckle.
Antonio Felix da Costa.
Roger Griffiths.
Da Costa finished 3rd yesterday. He was a forgotten man, finished on the podium. We didn't really talk about him. He did a great job. Big boss Michael Andretti was here.
Well, let's go down to Amanda Busick.
This is race control.
Made our way over to Venturi to catch up with Susie Wolf, and there's been some feedback on the track. It looks a little slower. Any feedback from your drivers on today's track?
Well, always when you're on a second day on a racetrack where there's been so much action the day before, the track will definitely feel different. For us, it's only a short session, so it's just about getting the last bits done before we get ready to go qualifying and then racing again.
Your drivers made some impressive charge yesterday, but didn't end the way that you guys would have wanted. How do you bounce back from that performance?
Well, first of all, I'd much rather have my drivers charging through the field and not finishing than simply running around at the back slow. You know, we're here to race, and we had a terrible qualifying session yesterday, but we went for an aggressive strategy because for me, if we go racing, we're racing for points. So I was very impressed by their charges, and unfortunately, we didn't get any points, but I don't know, there's a kind of feeling of it's the last race now, there's nothing to lose in the constructor standings, we can't gain, we can't really lose, so it's about going out there and just trying to maximize and finish on a high.
In the mayhem yesterday, there was some on-track involvement with your driver, Felipe Massa, and Jean-Eric Vergne. What are your opinions on it?
I think you have to see both sides of the story from each driver. I think particularly from Jean-Eric, you know, he's going for the championship. There was no need to do a do-or-die move at the very last lap because in the end he could have won the championship. So that was a bit disappointing to see. And obviously for Felipe, you know, he'd had such a great race. To lose it all in the last lap was very disappointing.
Thank you, Susie.
Thank you.
Susie Wolff there, with her views on the Massa Jean-Eric Vergne incident. We're going to be getting back underway in just a couple of minutes' time, so that's great news. So we should get a good 15 minutes or so of this session before qualifying later. Da Costa putting himself back in the car. I need to get to the bottom actually of what happened with the BMWs too, because Da Costa got up to the back of Sims, and Sims then sort of faded away a little bit, and I wasn't sure if it was team orders or not. It felt like it was that they actively swapped places, but I need to find that out for sure.
Yeah, quite possibly. I mean, Da Costa's obviously a lot further up in the championship.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. A good result for Sims too. I mean, a 3-4 for those guys. Sims has shown great pace, but the results just haven't come. That's equaled his best result,
which was Marrakesh.
Oh yeah,
after that bump, right?
When the two BMW teammates bumped together fighting for the lead, that was, yeah, that wasn't a high point for the team or either driver, I would say, during the season.
Would you not?
No. There you go, my expert analysis again.
On fire this weekend.
Yeah,
Mr. Subtle.
Nailing it.
So 9:29 local time, so that's 1 minute from now. The session will restart, so we'll get 16 minutes of running when the lights go green at the end of the pit lane.
So you have to get a qualified
we do it now
sim.
the 225 as we said, and then we do the quali sim on 250. Question is, should we change the tires to quali, or are you happy enough with the grip level of the rear tires from scrubbing it in the...
I was quite happy with the grip level from scrubbing, which was exactly what we did now.
Sorry, Marcus. So he was having a nice little...
Copy. Let's go to P2.
Having a nice little chat, and then leant over off radio, say, "We're on television! Shush! Shut up!"
We would use an intercom with the car, with an Indy car.
Oh, what? Just plug it
just plug in direct. You
line.
can say whatever you want, and it's and nobody can listen in, and it just makes it so much more discreet.
Were there session gets back underway. Did you?
The dragons almost crash into each other in pit lane.
Did you race with TV access to team radio?
During the race, yes.
That had come, because I don't know when that came into it.
They did have radios when I was driving, Jack.
No, not the radios, but they've been playing on the TV.
Yes. Oh yeah. But they had a beeper button, which we could really do with here, you know.
Yeah.
Because some words are universal.
Mistake attack.
And, you know, we heard Lucas talking about qualifying. You've got to do that qualifying simulation because at 250 kilowatts, you're approaching the corner a lot quicker than you would do at 200, which is race power. So you get one lap at 250 kilowatts during the practice session, and it helps you sort of get your eye in for your braking zones. And the fact you did one qualifying session yesterday, or in some cases two with the Super Bowl, you're going to push the limit a little bit more today again. So
15 minutes to go. Verne quickest at the moment. Then it's that man, his teammate, Andre Lotterer. Then we've got Bird, Van Dorn, Lynn at the top 5. All spread out quite a bit. Verne's lap, I think, was on attack mode. Not many drivers have actually run on attack mode in the grand scheme of things, because quite often you see them going out and doing a lot of attack mode runs. But anyway,
I wonder if just because it's the second race on the track, they've all done it, they all know what they're doing, they figure. And
yeah.
Which is why we have 1 practice instead of 2 today.
Yeah, exactly.
Over attack loops now. Over attack loops now.
Or not, as the case may be.
So there goes Lucas Di Grassi.
Perfect is the car in front of you. Exit turn 7.
He went dramatically back online, didn't he? Even though
still in the
he's then going to come back over to the outside.
Power map
just
9.
trying to get the tyres clean. Just give it, the more you run, every revolution of the tyre cleans it up just that little bit more. You can see the confetti from the podium yesterday still on the track.
Victory ceremony.
Yeah.
It's great that they built that huge hospitality grandstand right across from the podium.
Yeah.
Jeff approaching from behind on 225.
This is Luke.
Jeff is a gap.
This is Lucas Di Grassi.
5.
We're watching now
5.
with 13.5 minutes to go.
Lotterer is then the next car behind, but then keep pushing now.
We're listening to Lucas watching Daniel.
Sorry, yes, yeah, my
Watching
apologies.
Daniel out. Now he has to have an interesting mindset. Eliminated from the championship, but the team is still very much in the hunt for the team title.
Verne just bashed a massive lap in, a 1 minute 9.989. Oliver Rowland is about to match it, but those two just absolutely whacked it in. But yes, the team's championship is close. That's even more doable for Audi, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. Clearly more points available.
Bigger hill to climb than they had last year, but there's no reason they can't do it again.
It's the winner takes all today, isn't it?
Yeah.
You win one, you're going to win both, it looks like.
Good first sector from Di Grassi here. He's in attack mode at 225 kilowatts of power. Comes into turn 9. Whoop.
Just see that the rear tyres just lighting up. You see Lucas keeps both kind of hands on the wheel as he rotates through the hairpin.
Comes through the middle sector, and it's a personal best for Di Grassi, but he's 200ths down now.
He's got to get some traffic dragging ahead. I think it's the dragger. It's just going a little bit slow.
Oh, it's so close to being flat.
You could actually hear the scrub of the rear tyre as it went to oversteer. Yeah, lost a bit of time in the last sector, 2/10. Lucas Di Grassi goes 4th.
It was a really good first sector, much quicker than Rowland managed. Here's a look at Daniel Abt. Not very happy with Lucas Di Grassi there for holding him up, I guess.
Not ideal with your teammate. You've got to work together this afternoon, guys, and especially Lucas needs Daniel Abt to work for him.
Absolutely.
Maybe Alan Ignish is texting the guys telling them to calm down
while they're driving around. Just leave angry messages for them to find when they get back. Sims to the top. 1 minute 9.894.
Oh, big line. Eight-tenths away in the second sector. Again, each car gets 2 sets of tyres per event. So 2 sets of tyres for yesterday, 2 sets of tyres for today. And how you use those tyres can have a big effect on your day. They tend to scrub the tyres a bit. The teams figure that improves the performance both in terms of longevity and speed.
So really, 10.5 minutes to go.
Really have to consider everything as a team and a driver. I mean, it's a cliche, but there is no tomorrow and everything to play for today. So just throw everything at it.
Absolutely. Especially this being the last race.
Sam Bird goes up to 7th place. Robin Freins has just done a good first sector. We're watching Wehrlein and Da Costa running there as well. And into the pits comes Pascal Wehrlein. Here's Da Costa wrestling it through 12 and 13, then through the final corner at 14.
Wow, that sounded flat. If you lifted, it was a tiny lift. That's 225 kilowatts, so 200 being race pace, 225 attack mode, 250 is qualifying and fan boost.
Robin Freitz is about to come across the line, so we'll keep an eye on him. Massa goes up to 10th place.
So what are the bets that Massa and Jean-Eric Vergne end up next to each other on the grid today?
Freitz does go to the double, 1 minute 9.789. Pretty low, I think.
You think?
Considering the Venturi's qualifying yesterday, I think it'll be a tough one.
That Jaguar is braking ever so well. You watch the way it slows down, the way it loses speed. I mean, Alex Lynn doing a great job, and the car is working very well. And he was so fast yesterday. Remember how quick he was into turn 10 on the brakes. Every lap, it almost looked like he was going to run into the back of Sebastian Buemi.
No, that was excellent. There is James Barkley, the man in charge of the Jaguar Racing team, a man who had a lot of pressure on his shoulders when Jaguar first entered.
And the start of this season too, before
start
Rome.
Of this season, it was not looking good. I remember, I think it was after Sanya, things were not good. And you wondered what the future held. And in the end, it was Nelson Piquet that went away.
Look at that.
Here comes Linney.
Watch his hands. Car's balance is lovely. Just a slight correction. That is perfect. If you can do that when he's got the thing wicked up to full qualifying power, it'll be good shape.
Yeah.
Things might have been different yesterday for Alex Lynn if the car hadn't failed.
Absolutely.
He was right there on
Here's D'Ambrosio, 250.
It's actually a 20-place grid drop for Alex Lynn, I've just been told by the team. That's been amended, so he will be at the back of the grid. So D'Ambrosio at 250, only 2 thousandths up on Robin Freitz's 225 time at the moment. Tom Dillman's gone into the pits, so that's not interesting. I thought he'd gone to 250 as well, but he's just next to D'Ambrosio on the timing screens. Paffett's turned it up. We'll get D'Ambrosio's middle sector split here, and he is still up by almost a tenth on Robin Freitz. This is now on board with Pascal Wehrlein, who is, and now we're back with D'Ambrosio coming through the left-hander and out across the line, and D'Ambrosio goes fastest, 1 minute 9.712, 800ths ahead of Robin Freitz. So not a huge margin considering he had a 25 kilowatts of extra power.
Back to out mode, and box.
Andres Castillo telling him to come into the pits. Here comes Paffett. 300ths down on D'Ambrosio in sector 1.
Just listening to the voice of the Mahindra guys on the way out of the track yesterday. I was talking to Felix Rosenquist, who drove for Mahindra, and he said to me, he was up in Toronto with it.
On the
lock-up.
on the phone.
Yeah.
Oh, in the wall!
Oh, went all kinds of wrong.
Gary Paffett should be, hopefully, able to pull it out of there and go again, but we'll see.
Was it just the nose, or did it get the left front corner?
I mean, it sounded pretty crunchy.
Yeah, the sound of carbon fibre.
Into the Tech Pro Paffett.
Very bumpy in the braking zone for turn 11, right where he's crashed.
You see those wheel covers pushed back over the front wheels.
He said that there's big damage on the radio amongst a lot of swearing.
Let's see. It hit the inside curb. It just was never going to stop. And as soon as he gets off that black rubbered in area, forget it.
Red flagged.
Yeah.
Red flags waved. Here we go again.
Yeah, look, locking up. It's not. He tried to turn in with it, but just too much speed.
I thought he had it saved there for a microsecond.
He probably did too.
Yeah, I bet he did.
So going back to Rosenquist, he's been qualifying up in Toronto, did a great job, qualified the top 3 for the IndyCar race, but he said, so I've been obviously busy. What happened in the race? And I just said, I can't tell you, just watch it. I can't even begin.
Where do I begin?
So the clock will keep ticking. A lot of the drivers, well, in fact, D'Ambrosio is the only driver to have done a 250 kilowatt lap, as Franco Chiacchetti looks a little frustrated. That's Ulrich Fritz alongside him, the team principal. Franco, the head of trackside operations, whose voice you will remember from seasons 1 to 4 of Formula E, advising Lucas de Grassi all the time.
That Audi. Roland
comes into the pits. So yeah, only D'Ambrosio really.
We don't plug the data, guys. We just make sure we're ready to go for a 200 lap if we need.
Are they going to get one?
200 lap, that's interesting.
We won't have time to change it. We'll be really on the edge if we want to try to do another lap.
Okay, so I would guess he means 250 potentially, but yeah, because only D'Ambrosio has done a full power qualifying run,
and that's a big advantage. Again, we talked about how much quicker the corners arrive at 250. You see them plugging the ice into the cooling slots. No fans on the car. It relies on either the ice or the air going through it at a racing speed.
So Roland gets rolled back in to the garage. D'Ambrosio quickest, Frank second. There's Jean-Eric Verne, who at the moment is 6th quickest as it stands.
New set of tyres going on, it sounds like, to Verne's car. This is where being in the
teams, this is race control. Unfortunately, this session will not continue nor be extended due to the fact that we have to complete further repairs on that drain cover. I apologize for that, but that's the case.
Okay, so session is over then. Gary Paffett in the wall, but also they're going to take this off. They can't extend it because they need to fix the manhole cover as well. So that's the end of free practice 3. Session will not restart. So D'Ambrosio quickest in FP3. They've all gone out there. They've had a bit of a sighter,
bit of a skid,
yeah. And then it's on to qualifying. There's Verne.
It's going to make it even more of a guessing game as they go to qualifying at about 11:30 local time. DaCosta, Lauderer, and Mortara did not get the opportunity for an attack mode.
No, indeed. So they'll be going into it having only done 200 kilowatt.
Right. Another blank page in the data book.
Alexander Sims on the weighbridge. So, well,
skip plan B, plan C, go to plan D.
Yeah, here we go. What to expect come qualifying later on. The track looks decent, doesn't it?
The track looks in good shape. This next lap that these guys are going to have to do, it could make or break your season. Whether you're up, especially for the championship contenders, and the guys at the back fighting for the jobs. This can make or break. This next qualifying lap can make all the difference on where you start the race today. No pressure.
Yeah, exactly.
That on track, I hit a bump, which I completely forgot about, but...
Forgot about a bump, says Alexander Sims.
Bet he got reminded when he hit it. He probably pulled off line to sort of simulate passing or something and realised it was a huge bump there.
So, Paffett out the race, or out the session. Do we think that they'll get that car repaired in time for qualifying?
Yes.
Yeah. It looks like it's only a front left corner or something.
Yeah, they'll be fine.
Just under 2 hours.
Oh yeah, it's quite a... That's the other thing as well, because usually it's 45 minutes or something, isn't it, before qualifying?
Yeah, I think that's the best way. I think we should...
They're talking nicely now.
I was just thinking that. Lucas de Grassi and Daniel Abt. All is forgiven. Get on with the job.
It's Mitch Evans.
You know, he's the only one of the championship contenders that hasn't won a championship. He's the young guy. He's the young gun. He's the up-and-coming person.
1 out of 4.
And he's done a great job to get up to that level of consistent performance in Formula E with the Jaguar team.
And it's amazing, isn't it, that once again it's the final race of the season and it's Verne, de Grassi and Buemi, like every year.
Well, the checkered flag is waved, and here's a look at the results of an interrupted practice session, let's call it. Jerome D'Ambrosio, with the help of a 250 kilowatt lap, takes the fast time, right in the 69-second zone that we've seen over the last 2 days. Robin Franks with Envision Virgin, Alex Sims for BMW Andretti. Nice mix of teams up there at the top of the practice timesheets. Antonio Felix da Costa, 11th. Mitch Evans, 14th. And of course, these times not at all representative of the potential of the driver-car combination when we get to qualifying in less than 2 hours because of the multiple interruptions. It's a good look at the Brooklyn Bridge. And here's a look at the Drivers' Championship as we head for qualifying, where the 3 bonus points for the Julius Baer pole position will be at stake. Jean-Eric Verne up by 22 over Lucas de Grassi. 3 points further back, Mitch Evans, another point. The fourth and final man still standing for the Season 5 title, Sebastian Buemi. In the team's championship, Diaz Techeetah's out front, as they were going into this race a year ago, where they were nipped by Audi Sport at Schaeffler for the title by just 2 points. Nissan Edams ending their inaugural season as a partnership on an upswing. But would you like to be a fly on the wall now as all of these teams start taking what information they were able to get and extrapolate into what they're going to need going forward?
Which team would you like to be a fly on the wall of?
I would like to be at Diaz Techeetah, I believe. But I'll take Audi if Dario's already the fly on the wall of Techeetah.
It would be actually fascinating to see the way all the teams deal with the different data, how they communicate with each other, how they sort of go about getting the most out of the whole team.
Nissan Edams might be fun too. I mean, look at all the speed they've shown.
Would you follow the conversation?
They normally speak in French,
no,
don't they?
I need help with the French.
Actually, no,
Oliver Rowland.
I guess maybe they don't anymore.
No.
What an interesting question. Because they certainly used to all speak in French. But whether has the whole team had to change because of, and actually Michael Carcamo as well.
Good point.
I don't, je ne sais pas how good his French is.
The waterway's busy today. Is that the Buttermilk Channel?
That's actually the New York Harbor. Buttermilk Channel is between us and Governor's Island.
Okay. A bit to the south.
Oh, so where does the Buttermilk Channel stop then? As soon as you get to the bottom,
get to the end of the island with that big concrete structure, which I believe is a ventilation shaft for tunnels under the river.
Oh, what? So
there we go.
So that's Buttermilk Channel. So where are we saying Buttermilk Channel ends?
Buttermilk Channel starts here. That's
starts
Governor's
here.
Island.
Right.
Yeah. New York Harbor off to the left, one of the biggest in the world.
And that's the sky.
You're looking over at, well, New Jersey, actually. Or Staten, could be Staten Island.
Okay, so this is still Buttermilk Channel.
Yeah.
Yep.
Manhattan's
I think we're winning a BAFTA for this.
Here we go. That's Manhattan.
Correct. But this is still Buttermilk.
Yep.
Okay.
There goes the New York City ferry, part of a system. $2.75 US. You can get on and hit any number of ports up and down the harbor.
What a great place.
I'll go back and forth to the hotel.
And here's the track.
Yeah, there's your racetrack.
Right here in New York City, in Brooklyn.
Brooklyn Ship Terminal.
Oh, from the positive to the negative.
Yeah.
It's the wishbones. You can see the kink in the wishbone, the top wishbone. That can all be replaced, and the HWA guys will get that car out for qualifying, no problem.
So Gary Paffett going into his final race of the season for the HWA team in his debut year in Formula E. Maybe a bit of a long shot to see him return next year at Mercedes?
Yeah, I would say so, unfortunately. You know, double DTM champion, raced there for a long time, and I think he's at first he had trouble adapting, but then it was just one thing after another going wrong for the poor guy. This man's been retained, Daniel Abt, with Audi.
There is the perfect place to own a condominium or an apartment or whatever those things are if you enjoy Formula E here in Red Hook, Brooklyn. Sam Bird talking it over. Vision Virgin dropped from second to third as Nissan Edams moved up to that position in the team's championship. So much to think about.
The points permutations and combinations. Okay, you got the championship ones, but then you've got all the other positions as well. As you look at Chris Gorn sending an email at the back there. Wonder who he's emailing.
Probably the base. Probably back home in the UK.
Well, let's take another look at the championship and see if we can touch on a few of the storylines that we'll see moving forward. Jean-Eric Vergne, obviously, he and Lucas de Grassi, Mitch Evans, Sebastian Buemi all want to qualify as far forward as possible to stay out of that mid-pad traffic. And keep in mind, Sebastian Buemi has won the last 3 consecutive poles over 2 seasons here in New York. A little bit further back. We say it all the time. Everybody has something to race for. We've talked about the driver lineup still forming up. Very few teams have confirmed next year's drivers. Felipe Nasr, Felix Rosenqvist, Nelson Piquet Jr. started the season, but ran only limited schedules. Mitch Evans waiting to be asked a question by his engineers.
This is the bit where the drivers come into their own, giving the engineers as much detail as possible. You can see they've got a lot of data on what the car's doing, but the driver can give that those small details to make it better and better.
Yeah, and there's no telemetry, so that data gets downloaded when the car comes to the pits, which they did 15 minutes ago, and now they have to look at it before they can even start to analyze it.
Yeah, exactly right.
So that compacts the hours.
See, these guys are talking on an intercom system.
Right. Pascal Verlaine, Mahindra boys. We're seeing that more and more, certainly open wheel series, Formula One here. The drivers will sit around a table with the engineers and everybody's got a headset on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Gary Paffett's HWA Race Lab machine is carried back to the pit lane. Let's take a look at the highlights of this abbreviated and only practice before qualifying here on the final day of the season. Jack?
A disrupted final practice. Started with an espresso for Lucas de Grassi, the man who is, along with that man Mitch Evans and also Jean-Eric Vergne, fighting for the championship. Sebastian Buemi in the fight too as the session got underway. The final 45 minutes in theory, but it was relatively disrupted. Alex Lynn will have a 20-place grid drop for having to change his motor generator unit after that retired or broke down yesterday. Jean-Eric Vergne and his teammate Andre Lotterer were the quickest in the early stages. Sam Bird had a good run yesterday, but that 10-second time penalty really compromised his final finishing position. Alex Lynn chucked it around. Jerome D'Ambrosio was the only driver to do a full-speed qualifying lap at 250 kilowatts. And as a result, he ends the session quickest on a 1:09.712. There was a brief red flag to weld down a manhole cover, which gave Jean-Eric Vergne time to eat a banana. Daniel Abt sliding around, he would finish in 4th place. Lucas de Grassi having a chat with his engineers because the session was finally red flagged because Gary Paffett locked up, went straight into the wall, so Jerome D'Ambrosio ends the session quickest.
And with that, we've completed our final practice session of Season 5 of ABB FIA Formula E. Up next, our final group and Super Pole qualifying of the season at 11:30 a.m. local time here in New York, 4 hours behind Greenwich. Join us for that. And until then, for Jack Nichols and Dario Franchitti, I'm Bob Barsha. So long from New York.